Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jayla. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about how to become your dream girl because I feel like I've reached that point where I feel like I am now my dream girl. I fully embody what I always dreamed of when I was a little girl, what I wanted to become, and now I'm here. So if you see me looking down, I'm just checking on my notes because I can't keep all that in my head at one time. So I want to give like a little bit of a background first before I really get into like the different steps that I have to get to that point to where you feel like you are your own dream girl. So when I was younger, I used to lay awake at night when I was in like middle school, high school, and dream of the woman, the girl I would become when I was older. I always had so many high hopes of what I would become, the person I would be, who I wanted to embody, and everything that I was in that moment in time was not how I envisioned my future. So I always felt like I know there's something more for me. I know I can be more. I just don't know how to get there. And I always had the feeling that I was always in my own way. I am a sucker for self-sabotage, and I would always put myself down. I would always downplay my own talents, my skills, and the things that I already possessed that people could always see shine right through me so easily, and they would always mention it to me, but I would never be able to see it for myself. And at some point you just have to wake up and realize no one's coming to save you. Like, this is on you. If you want to be different, if you want your life to change, you have to make those steps for yourself to do it for you. No one's gonna do the work for you. You know, this isn't like a movie. There's not a Prince Charming. There's no one that's coming here to save you. You're the only person that knows how you envision your life. You're the only person that's gonna have that burning desire to really push yourself to get there, because there's no other option but to be better. It's really up to you to become that girl that you've always dreamed of. Everyone has their own vision of how they want to be when they're older, how they envision their best version of themselves to be, and no one can push you to get there because everyone's going to have a different view. Everyone's going to have a different journey. They're not going to get there at the same time as you. Maybe someone gets there faster than you, and it's all okay. We're all going to take our time. I feel like confidence grows so much more with age. So you guys, let's get right into it. So throughout high school, I was never the girl that got picked. I was never the girl that felt like I was popular. I didn't have very many friends. Like, I would always be holed up in a corner in the library reading a book. When I was in middle school and high school, I was a bookworm and I was a band geek. I was in marching band. I loved that. That was my whole life. I fully embraced it. You know, it was fine. I wasn't looking for a boyfriend. I wasn't really that bothered about having like a bunch of friends or being like the top dog in the school or anything like that. And even though I was content in the time, I never felt like I was living up to my fullest potential. I had so many dreams and aspirations of things that I wanted to do, how I envisioned my future life to be like, my future partner, the way that I viewed my best version of myself. And I always felt so held back because I didn't know how to reach that point. I didn't have the courage and the bravery to make those first steps. Throughout my school years, I always was comparing myself to everybody all the time. I never felt like I was good enough. You know, I went to a predominantly white school, and being a black girl, you come into a lot of issues with that, and you feel kind of inferior, you feel like an imposter, and you feel like you kind of have to prove yourself more than everyone else. And I would just always be overthinking. I was such an anxious child and I had so much going on at home. I never felt like I could really put my all into trying to better myself. There were so many people around me that were trying so hard to get me to see the bright light that's inside of me, to see the talents that I have, and to tap into it. I'm an artist. I love art. I've always loved art, and I've always been into music and just being creative and just being like a free-spirited, happy-go-lucky person. And I would always have people that would try to push me, try to get me to see myself the way that others view me. But I just never could really see it, and I was holding myself back for so long just because I was being so stubborn. I would think, you know, maybe they're just gassing me up, they're just lying, like, this isn't actually reality, like, I'm not that person. And it wasn't until I stopped waiting until I felt like I was ready to become this new best version of myself, this dream girl that I always envisioned. And I started to make changes to really invest in myself, really invest into who do I want to be? What do I want to embody? What kind of person do I dream of? And because of all those little steps, those years of hard work has built up to where I am now. I feel so much more confidence in myself. Okay, so here's the part that you guys really care about. Here are the steps to become your dream girl. So for my first one, I have to define what your definition is of a dream girl because everyone is going to have a different view. Everyone's going to have a different path that they want to go down, and that's perfectly fine. But just having that clarity, having that organization and a detailed idea of what you're looking to try to embody will make the journey so much easier. So try to think about like, what does this dream version of myself, what do they wear every day? What does their day-to-day look like? What kind of job do they have? What kind of partner do they have? What are they eating? And really try to embrace that lifestyle. Really try to envision yourself in that lifestyle that you are that girl. Don't just look at it as if you are the audience. Look at it as if you are the main character of your own story. So for me, I really wanted to step into exploring and expressing myself through my clothes, through my fashion. I felt like the wardrobe that I had really wasn't fitting how I wanted to represent myself, and it was making me feel so discouraged and so uncomfortable and not as confident in myself as I could have been. Because I'm a creative person, I like to express myself in any way possible. I like to dress up. I like to experiment with my clothes, with my jewelry, anything like that. And I felt like the clothes that I was wearing just wasn't embodying that dream girl that I really wanted to be. I also really wanted to work on not being afraid to show up as my full self. I naturally am more of an introvert, but I can definitely be extroverted. I love getting to know people. I love making friends, things like that. And I feel like I was really stifling that part of myself and just beating into my head like I'm an introvert, just because I was too scared to really push myself and get out there. The last thing that I felt like I really needed to embody to become this dream version of myself is to embrace compliments and welcome attention. I wanted to be that girl that really took care of herself, that when she walks into a room, she lights it up, and someone that just has their stuff together, someone that doesn't take anything from anybody and knows how to stand their ground. So for my second one, I have to build confidence through action. So confidence is something that doesn't really happen right off the bat. It's something that you really have to work at and something that's going to take time. You just have to be patient and you have to be consistent with constantly working with yourself, constantly trying to unlearn the things that people tell us all the time. When you do this, you start to show up as your dream version of yourself. So for some examples, I would get rid of any clothes that I felt like didn't suit me, some clothes that maybe didn't fit me the best and would make me feel self-conscious about a certain part of my body. I would cut off any kind of people in my life that I felt like weren't suiting me, that weren't healthy for me, and anyone that wasn't supportive of my new lifestyle, that wasn't supportive of me trying to better myself. You trying to be a better person shouldn't trigger anyone else around you, and if it does, that person isn't for you. You also have to really start to just not care at all what people think about you, and that's something so hard to do, but just realize that there are so many people in this world. Like, one person's opinion really shouldn't matter that much to you. Being a dream girl to me, I really had to stop watering down myself to make other people feel better. There's been so many situations where I've been in an environment where I felt like I was a little bit uncomfortable because it felt like I was rubbing people the wrong way because maybe I was more dressed up or maybe I was getting more attention or whatever it was. And I've come to realize that that's not my problem. If I'm just showing up as my full authentic self, then where's the issue? Like, I'm not doing anything to hurt anybody. And if the people around you, if your friends, if your family, they can't celebrate you for who you are, then maybe it's time to evaluate if those people need to still be in your life. I absolutely love wearing skirts, dresses, anything colorful, anything bubbly, anything girly, like that is me. And I never really tapped into that until I was into like my last half of college because I was so scared of being seen, being noticed, people having a perception of me. And now that I've tapped into that and I've fully embraced it, I feel so much more confident because I'm actually wearing things that I feel good in. So for my third one, I have self-care. I feel like self-care is going to be the foundation of you becoming your dream girl. Now is the time to be selfish. Now is the time to think about you, to think about what do you need to better yourself. So I started to create different routines. I started to really learn my body, started to really learn my face, learn what goes good with me, learn what doesn't work for me, not trying to fit clothes to my body, but having clothes fit to me and really just embracing my appearance. It's so hard sometimes to compare yourself all the time because you feel like I want to look like this person or that person, or I wish I had that attribute. But we're all unique people. We all are so beautiful and so special in so many different ways that not everybody has that. And you really just have to have an appreciation for yourself and really know that you are that girl. Like, you're that girl, and just because another girl is also that girl doesn't mean you're not that girl. Like, come on. I was so busy throughout college because I was working, I had class, I had a lot of stuff going on. And even if you have a busy schedule, just try to set aside like a couple minutes a day or a week or whatever works best for you to have some time for yourself. Really invest into yourself because it's going to pay off. That be looking up makeup tutorials that go along with your skin tone, trying out different clothes to fit your body type, trying out different skincare routines to see what works best for you. Whatever it is, really invest that time into yourself to really get to know you, because when you have a unique perspective of yourself, sure, it's great to like get advice from other people and like see what other people are doing, but test things out on yourself, because something that works for someone else doesn't mean that it's going to look great on you or that it's going to make you feel like your best self. For my fourth one, I have that perfection is an illusion. And perfection, quite frankly, is just like boring. Like, who wants to be perfect? That's like so boring. You're all so unique. Our flaws have so much beauty, and we really just need to embrace those instead of trying to stifle them down, push them down, and try to demonize anything that we feel like is wrong with us. Because something that we can think of as a flaw to someone else, that is like your most beautiful attribute. And you have to reclaim that power of knowing that we are all our own people. So for my fourth one, I have to celebrate you. So even if it's something as simple as you're in the middle of a self-deprecating thought and you stop yourself and you're like, no, actually, that's not true. I'm not like that, or whatever it is, that's a huge step to help retrain your brain and get out of that mindset that there's something wrong with you. To get out of that mindset of listening to those thoughts in your head of all those people throughout your life that said all those terrible things about you that aren't true. As a girly that overthinks a lot and really wants to do well in everything that I do, I really struggle with the idea of letting go of perfection, of letting go of the idea that I'm never going to reach that because it's just not reality. You start to acknowledge the growth that you're having, the progress that you're making. It's going to make you feel so much more motivated and so much more prepared and feel like you're on the right track to be your dream girl. You just have to show up as yourself, appreciate the growth that you have, and take everything day by day. That you may see people that you think are perfect, they have this perfect life, and oh my gosh, everything about them, it just falls into place. They make everything seem so effortless. Know that nobody is perfect. Everyone has something that they have going on, and that's okay. Like, we're all humans. There's no reason to keep putting this pressure on ourselves that's so unrealistic to try to reach perfection. All of these things have helped me so much with becoming that girl that I always knew that I could become. I'm so much more confident now than I ever have been my whole life, and I know it's just going to constantly increase because I'm learning myself more and more every day. I'm becoming more and more comfortable in my own skin, and just know that you don't have to change yourself to become your dream girl. Really, the key to it is that you have to own who you are. You have to own it, you have to claim it, you have to show it off. You'll be your dream girl because you won't be afraid to be who you are, and that's the most beautiful thing. I want you guys to let me know down in the comments what is your vision of being a dream girl? Like, what do you think of when you think of a dream girl? Thank you guys so much for watching, and just remember that everything that you need to become your dream girl is already within you. You just have to claim it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.